Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Wednesday here on ChronoSpeakeasy.com. I'm your host, Paul, joined with Angela.
I'm here!
Chandler.
Hello.
And Rob.
I too am here.
And Domino.
Yeah, Domino was like legit up in my shit when I was doing that intro.
If you hear heavy breathing, it is most likely Domino. Let's hope
Most likely.
Most likely.
At least in this episode. Can't explain previous or future episodes for heavy breathing.
But it's definitely
Especially
her.
depending on the topic.
Oh, she's laying down with her.
She's laying down.
She's near the microphone, though, so...
She is. This just in. Near the microphone. Laying down.
Okay.
Good stuff. Howdy, y'all. How's everybody doing?
Howdy,
Pretty good.
How
On
are
this
you?
fine St. Patrick's Day.
But Jesus. The best time of the year to be talking about comic books. With my glass of Guinness. And my shillelagh.
Oh, Chalalet.
Chalalet. It's a Chalalet.
That's actually what the French call it.
Oh.
In France, it's a shillelagh. Do you know what my favorite Irish word is? Actually, I don't even know it's Irish, but I've only heard it come from Irish people. Is Donnybrook?
What is it?
It's like having a fight or an argument.
It's just like a massive
That is
fist
the
fight,
most
isn't it?
Irish
With like
thing
a
I've ever
bunch of
heard.
people together.
Donnybrook.
I don't know. I just
It's kind of
always
like a
liked
massive
it.
bar fight, is how
Yeah.
I.
So how do I know
envision
there,
it.
Donnybrook?
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm trying to do it right.
No, I'm like responding more so as somebody who is not Irish and
Yeah.
terrified of Southie. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
god.
You know what though? Nothing beats being in South. Well, first of all, so I was coming home from work, and it was past St. Patrick's Day, but it was the Sunday of, and I got out at Broadway Station, totally forgetting the parade was that day. So the number 9, like all the buses on Broadway weren't running because of the parade, and it was like, you know, getting out of the station, realizing, oh my god, I have to walk through this. It
And
was
this is
like
before Uber and like,
Right. So, not that they would do anything anyway, but it was then at that moment that I really understood Dante's Inferno. Because that's what it felt like, just the different rings of a green hell. Like, it was just like, I mean, talk about the purge. I mean, people were like getting into fist fights, and there's green vomit everywhere, and it was just like, and of course, I was again, coming home from work, and I'm not wearing a spot of green. And I feel like it's just asking for trouble. But my favorite thing about that moment, though, was, like, actually encountering legit Irish people. Not, like, people who were Southie and were quote-unquote Irish, but it was like, oh, but Jesus, what a great time for a party. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing here, man? I feel like we're disrespecting your people.
I think they just try to get like a token actual Irish person every year. I saw on like the local news they had Conor McGregor like freshly out of jail, like trying to represent some kind of drunken Irish people.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Actually, that's like not a bad gig. It's like, hey, can you
Yeah.
can you just be Irish for a few hours at my party?
Yeah, that's pretty
And
good.
no matter what you
Yeah.
say, it's like everyone's just they're gonna be so plastered, like, oh, say something Irish, and it doesn't matter what it is, it'll just sound Irish. Say after me, Lucky Charms. That's just what I imagine the party going like.
You should just go cosplaying as Moira McTaggart.
Yeah,
Is she Irish or is she Scottish?
I don't
or like
know.
Banshee?
Scottish.
But Banshee
Scottish,
is
damn it.
Irish.
Banshee is Irish.
Yeah, 'cause
so it's
Forge-
all goes Banshee with like his
Yeah.
old costume with the big
Cape
like cape
thing.
wings.
Yeah.
Jamaican wings.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what I love? Not only is he Irish, but his superpower is to scream, which is like very Irish. Just, you know, like that's how he flies and fights people. Just keep like go my X-Men. That is legit his power.
I would love the like realistic interpretation of Banshee in like the next movie. It's like Phoenix is starting to bust off, and it's just this Irish guy who's like, "Hoy shite!" and he's going, "Ah!" He just starts screaming.
But he has to have the bright red like mutton chops, you know, like those big sideburns, and the pipe. No, because I love in the X-Men comics, Forge is always calling him Irish. Like, hey, Irish. It's like, well, he's wearing green and red hair. It's just his superpower's just being Irish and screaming at people. I mean, that would scare the shit out of me. I may rethink this terrorist tactic. I got this fucking guy flying and screaming at me.
Yeah, it's just like a less powerful
pretty much
Irish
your
Black
fathom,
Bolt
isn't it?
who can
Yeah.
kind of glide on sound waves somehow.
God, I'm just imagining too, like if Banshee were real, I'm pretty sure somebody would turn his like ability like into like some sort of like a club dubstep remix, like and, like,
Oh no.
like, you know, like just
Banshee like would be the worst teammate. Like there's a lot of X-Men who would suck to be your teammate, but oh god.
Yeah,
They're
that
like,
was
all
a
right,
very,
we got Banshee. Get your
that
freaking
was a very
earplugs
like
out.
2011 thing though. Whenever there was like a public freak out, someone would remix it. That was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
That was so great.
some idiot in the project.
Simpler times.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Mm-hmm. But there's plenty of reasons to be drinking like an Irish fish this weekend, other than St. Patrick's Day. Some fantastic news about James Gunn.
Woo! Bow, bow, bow.
Yep, James Gunn. Now, just for a little bit of a backstory, this past July, some right-wing troll. Nothing against the right-wing trolls who listen. Actually, no, everything against you. Stop fucking listening to our podcast. Some right-wing knucklehead found a bunch of old tweets that James Gunn had said years ago, had apologized for. You know, and the
Just
jokes,
bad jokes.
they were all bad.
They're just bad jokes.
Yeah, poor
Like-
execution and content. Not defending the content, but you know, it was just
They
pretty.
were stupid.
Yeah,
I
but yeah,
mean,
they were childish, infantile. But the point is, James Gunn apologized, and it had apologized long before these tweets kind of resurfaced, and Disney, in their infinite wisdom, decided to let James Gunn go, and it was I was super sad about it. And but Warner Brothers, they swept in. They're like, okay, well, clearly what you're doing with a bunch of outlaw misfits. Why don't you do our Suicide Squad? He signed on for that. And I guess supposedly there were rumors that they were meeting with Taika Waititi, who did Thor Ragnarok, and they were also meeting with was it Adam McKay, who did the Ant-Man movies, about possibly stepping in. But I think on Friday, news broke that James Gunn was hired back by Disney, and the cool part is he's still doing Suicide Squad. So it's almost like he's actually he is making more money because of those like jokes.
Yeah.
And I like that he's like,
I'm happy he's back.
This also benefits us as fans because there was no way I was going to go see Suicide Squad before he was attached to it.
Right.
So maybe I'll see it now.
I'm definitely gonna see it now.
I will too, because they said it's a reboot. It's not a sequel.
Ooh. Well, I guess that's true because Will Smith's not coming back.
Yep, it's with Idris Elba. It's gonna be great.
Elbow.
I'm making dad jokes, and I'm not a dad yet.
Not yet.
I'm too tired as a dad to make dad jokes. I just speak English more poorly.
Me speak good.
Yesterday, I was talking to one of my sister's friends, and they were talking about the terrible things that were occurring in New Zealand. And I said, New Zealand isn't supposed to have villains. And what I meant to say was predators. But I said villains. And it worked. But I was like, that's not what I meant to say.
Yeah. Talking's hard sometimes.
It is, and I'm learning Spanish. I mean, talking
Ooh,
about
nice.
talking poorly. I mean, I'm learning a new language, and I do that very poorly. So I got, yo bebo, tu bebes, el bebe.
Frank.
That's it.
I'm terrible at Spanish.
I drink, you drink, he drinks. It's my Latin contribution to St. Patrick's Day. That's all I got.
And to James Gunn being rehired.
And okay.
Yeah. That's so they were always going to use his script, right?
Yes, that was the plan, and I know that the cast was really kind of fighting for at least some of James Gunn's ideas to kind of live on. That it was going to be somebody else directing it, so now it's just going to be James Gunn's script, directed by James Gunn, and I'm excited because after recently watching Infinity War, I got so sad when I saw the Guardians come on because I was thinking about all the things that could have been, which will and now will be. But like the ending of Volume 2, they were teasing Adam Warlock, and it's like, oh man, like how is that going to carry out? And there was also kind of talk that James Gunn kind of had an idea for the future of the Marvel movies, that he had some sort of a plan laid out. So now kind of I'm excited to see what that vision will entail and what kind of role he'll play with other Marvel properties. Because I remember when there was talk about Disney getting the X-Men rights, he had tweeted a picture of Dupe. And they go, I'm excited
like
about
an
this
Ecstatics movie or something.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what else he'll do.
I hope he stays within the Marvel universe, and even if he becomes kind of like the architect for like the wacky galactic stuff or just anything really.
Yeah, guy knows what he's doing.
That's for damn sure. Which is so, I guess you can see like his evolution as a director, but the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie is like so well done. The scale and the craft of it, it's weird knowing that's the guy that came from writing Scooby-Doo movies and directing those like indie movies.
Yeah. Didn't he also do Slither too?
Yeah, he did like Slither and Super, that really weird movie with Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page. But if he can just keep making these, I don't know, they're so good. They feel so good.
Yeah,
it's like comfort food in movie form.
Which
is pretty much all the Marvel movies, but specifically his. I think it's the music element that he brings to the movies that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that because, again, watching Infinity War, when the Guardians show up, they're playing the Spinners' Rubber Band Man, and I was thinking, like, did the Russo brothers, like, talk to, like, James Gunn and was like, hey, is this something reasonable that Star-Lord would be jamming to, because I feel like, James Gunn has such he's establishing the foundation for the musical palette for Star-Lord. So like, is this consistent with the character and his growth?
I have a question. Do you guys know if Taika Waititi's up for any more Marvel movies?
I don't know, but boy, I sure hope so.
He was amazing.
Me too.
Because we rewatched Thor Ragnarok, that was a blast.
It really was.
That movie is probably in my top 5 Marvel films, just because it is so goddamn fun.
Should we do a ranking?
I think we should. I can create a survey, and we can all vote and create the podcast's top 10.
Or we could just do it.
I'm down for that. I was thinking we should dedicate a whole episode to this idea.
I like it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and hop on
battle.
Survey Monkey and or a poll that we can vote on.
Yeah, mine is going to consist of Aquaman, Unbreakable, that's it. Oh, Green Lantern.
Speaking of which, I finally saw Aquaman.
What'd you think?
That was some silly fucking shit. That was what I thought.
It was good though.
It was
was it the silly that you like?
It was a visually stunning movie. I enjoyed it, but I thought it was good and enjoyable the way that I think like the National Treasure movies are good and enjoyable. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it was kind of fun. But like in terms of like a superhero film, in terms of like Aquaman, I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I said that a good 5 times during the movie. Paul can testify.
Yeah, she totally did.
Especially the big one. When she's playing that fucking flute, when he wakes up on the boat and she's just sitting back there playing the flute, I'm like, what? Okay, Ariel, what's happening now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
also,
do you have a talking crab and like a singing like guppy with you? Like, what is going on right now? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, Chandler, did you see Aquaman?
Yeah, I like to call it underwater Black Panther.
See,
I didn't know
thought
you
it
had
was-
seen it.
See, I thought it was more like they saw Ragnarok, and they were like, "Ooh, we got to do something like that," but the jokes weren't like really good. And so that's what I thought. Like I was seeing, like they had like with the futuristic music and like all the colors and stuff. I was like, okay, they're definitely trying with Thor Ragnarok on this one. But the one thing that I have to give this movie that I thoroughly enjoyed was the women fighting. It was basically his mom and fucking Ariel that kicked ass on that, and I was so
Yeah, Nicole Kidman.
I was shocked
fucking
when I
beats
saw
ass.
Nicole Kidman, and I gotta say, Nicole Kidman next to Angelina Jolie, only other white girl who could pull off dreads. I was like,
Just
all right.
saying.
I'm just saying. Because we all gotta admit, Angelina Jolie in Gone in 60 Seconds, we all kind of groaned when we saw the dreads, but she was still fucking fly. So let's be real. Let's all be real. Keep it 100, guys.
Yeah.
Also, I like with Nicole Kidman. So I just saw Captain Marvel today, like I said, and looking at Nick Fury's like de-aged face all day, being like, man, that's impressive. But in Aquaman, I feel like they just gave Nicole Kidman a shower to play her like 20-year-old self,
Yep.
and then they're just like roll around in the dirt to look old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was so, like, she was flawless. I was like, they didn't even do the age thing
Yeah. No.
on
No.
her. That's just how she is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was really
like get a good night's sleep. You got to look young tomorrow.
She did.
No.
And she did.
But no, I thought Aquaman was surprisingly like enjoyable for me anyway.
I had a good time with it. It was
Yeah.
very long and ridiculous, but
Dude.
I was smiling and laughing at the whole thing.
Dude, that third act where they're just having the underwater Star Wars bit with a giant kraken, I was all about that. They're
I
right.
did dig the Kraken, and I like that she had an old woman voice because I
Yeah.
feel like a sea serpent of that magnitude in the
That
shadows
was
would be an old woman.
what's her name? Mary Poppins, the original Mary Poppins.
What? Julie Andrews?
Yeah, I'm
That
pretty sure
was
Julie
not
Andrews
Julie
played the
Andrews.
voice of the Kraken.
That's amazing. No wonder I
Interesting.
loved her.
Yeah.
No
The-
wonder
so-
I loved her. I'm gonna look that
Something, something that somebody brought up about that scene, which I think is hilarious, is Aquaman is like doing his whole thing, and the Kraken's like saying all this stuff to him while he's doing it, and then he like responds to her, and she's like, "Oh my God, nobody's ever understood me before," which means she was just saying that whole spiel, expecting him to just hear like,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Well, I
Talk
imagine
shit.
it's very lonely to be guarding the sacred trident for I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of years. I'd be talking to myself too.
Mhm.
But I'd be saying the stupid shit like, "Bitch, you in my house."
Julie
oh, you ain't getting this
Andrews-
trident.
Oh, she did. Yeah, look at that. Julie Andrews, I love her. I love her. Like, I love my own mother. Like, I love Julie
Did
Andrews.
the movie just get more cred now that you found out she was in it?
It made me happy. It makes me incredibly happy knowing that she's in it.
The fact that she
And
played a giant sea beast.
she played a giant sea beast, which is like, oh my God, my heart, you know? Like, oh, yes. But, no, because her voice, whenever I'm, like, reading a book and, like, I'm reading it in my head, it's her voice that I hear reading it.
Really?
But
I
yeah,
didn't
that's
know
just,
that.
yeah, like, I love Julie Andrews. Like, yes. She is very
I
important
loved
to
her
me.
in Princess Diaries.
She was amazing. She's amazing in everything she does, though, so.
God, now I gotta think about who does I guess narrating voice when I read a book, because it's not Morgan Freeman. Now I don't love Morgan Freeman, but it's I hear that and I think
I always hear Julie. It's been like that, though, since
Oh,
forever.
there's Bobcat Goldthwait.
I was actually I was gonna go with Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, all right.
That's only for erotica novels, though.
Yeah, it is always consistently Julie Andrews.
I'll have to pay attention to that. I don't know. The dumb answer would be just myself, but that doesn't seem right.
Well, if it were me, you know what's funny? Like when I was a kid, and let's be real, I still do it. When I read a book and I read it out loud, I'm very British.
I do that too. I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm
But like
gonna be
trashy
honest.
British.
Oh, you like Euro
Like-
trash?
Hello, Harry.
Oh,
You're a wizard.
If I
And
if
I'm
I-
what?
also a chimney sweep.
if it's by an English author, absolutely am reading it in a British accent.
I mean, for me, it'd be like,
Out loud.
I will not eat them with a fox or in a box. That's an excerpt from Green Eggs and Ham.
Thank you.
Sam, I am. That's all I know.
So God bless Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best
Oh,
CBs of
sorry to
2018
backtrack
for
a little
sure.
bit. But like, I just want to say, like, I do think that it's like, I wish that like Disney didn't like have such like a knee-jerk response to the whole gun controversy, just because I feel like they probably didn't understand the context of everything, and they were just like, okay, we want to look progressive, so we're just gonna like get rid of this dude. And I really wish that like, on top of that, like, I guess I'm speaking like generally. I think like a lot of times with like the whole outrage culture, it's just like it's a small segment of the internet that's like outraged, and like
Right.
I think these big multi-billion-dollar corporations really shouldn't be like pandering to like these faceless people on the internet, and like really do like their own research and due diligence before they make decisions like that.
Yeah, I mean, some people just
Yeah.
are just angry for the sake of being angry.
Yeah.
You know.
And there are also people who do actually say terrible things and do terrible things.
Yeah, and I'd rather save my
And-
rage for them.
Yeah, and if you know James Gunn when you're hiring, or you should know James Gunn's, like he's just trying to be a friggin'
Provocateur.
provocateur, like this weird little indie horror guy
And
trying to just get a rise out of people by
let's
being a
be
weird
real.
creep.
Like, let's be totally real. Thank God we didn't have a platform for our opinions and shitty jokes 20 years ago.
You are so right.
Because I would be unemployable. Okay? In just the time that you guys have known me, we've been doing this podcast for what, like 4 or 5 years? How many years have we been doing this? 5 years? Like,
Four or
in
five
the
years.
time you have known me, like, I'm sure you can go back into those first, like, 10 episodes and I said some crazy shit. It's just like, yeah, it's like, my foot
Yeah, that's
goes in
true-
my
it's
shoe,
true for everyone.
my foot goes in my mouth. That's just what I do. Like, it's just
You
what
say shit
happens.
when you're younger, and if you're a good person and you realize some of the shit's bad and you shouldn't say it, you don't say it anymore.
Yeah.
But
And
that
people's
doesn't
like
mean
opinions
you should
change,
be punished.
they grow, they expand. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if I got punished for like the bullshit I said like 20 years ago, yeah, I would be living in a cardboard box. I would be completely unemployable.
Yeah, it's not like you're like 20 years ago I stabbed a man just to watch him die, but you should forgive me, I've changed. It's like, yeah, I said a shitty joke, please. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But yeah, I am very happy James Gunn's coming back.
Oh,
I'm
totally.
excited.
There, yay! But
Totally.
you know what? The universe works its wonders, and now we're getting 2 movies out of this. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it back to a
So,
selfish place. What do
it
we
is-
get out of that?
But it's Suicide Squad is a reboot, but Margot Robbie's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Because she was like the part everybody loved.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because
What?
she's coming back for like she's doing a Birds of Prey movie, but I don't know where her contract goes beyond that. So I wouldn't be surprised. But I honestly, I mean, she was my favorite part of that movie. She was actually the only part I liked in that movie.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people.
So, yeah, I would love to see her come back. So I don't know. Hopefully it will. But I'm curious to see what James Gunn and company goes or does into post Endgame territory.
This time they're gonna get Post Malone to play the Joker.
Oh God.
Ew.
I know nothing about that kid except that
Me
he has
either.
a lot of face tattoos and the
That's
voice
literally
of an
all I know
angel.
about
That's
him.
all I know. Like
Oh, they did a Photoshop thing where they made him look normal, and he looks actually really cute. It's like ridiculous.
he has like all these face tattoos, but I've heard him sing and he has the voice of an angel. I haven't heard like any of his like other music except his live singing, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
Well, that in Spider-Verse. Remember when Miles is singing along to that song?
You're my
Oh, it's a Post
sunflower.
Malone song?
Yep.
Yeah, he has a beautiful voice.
I liked to.
But he made a lot of bad decisions
Well, yeah.
on his face.
I think the favorite
know?
the favorite thing that came out of Post Malone is that joke where if you like it's a meme of like doing a Google image of a full name and they go, "What's the full name for Post Malone?" and it's postpone my student loans.
Oh my god,
And
I
now-
feel
So
so
good.
old.
And now, like when I see him, oh yeah, hey look, it's postpone my student loans.
Like I
It's funny.
feel so old when people like him show up because I'm just like, oh, look at that young man, like. I'm just like.
So
I don't
speaking of
know.
being old, we were like looking at like our baby book for Max, and it was like what were the top hits on the radio the day you were born? And I was like, I don't know any of these people. I'm like, I've heard of Ariana Grande, but I don't know any of these songs.
It's like, I thought she was a drink at Starbucks.
Oh no. I mean, ours were pretty great.
Well, yeah, I had The Power of Love from Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future was like a big hit that weekend.
Yeah, and I
forgot
had
mine.
View to a Kill by Duran Duran.
I forget what mine was. I think it was something dumb like Red Red Wine, that weird.
That sucks.
Not weird.
That sucks so bad. But it's true though. It kind of like it makes me feel like it was like destiny. I was destined to be this awesome. The intro to a bad James Bond movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
And mine is a cheesy fucking 80s love song.
It's the best '80s love song.
Wait, is it by year or by like month?
It's what was the number one Billboard song the day you were born.
Actually, I lied. Mine was Good Thing by Fine Young Cannibals.
Wow. Wow. Saucy.
Yeah.
There's a May 12th and May 19th, and I have Vogue by Madonna.
Oh, Chandler, you really are a platinum gay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You really are. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah, all right,
I'm very proud of
Chandler,
myself
you
now,
did
thanks.
it. You did it.
I'm ascending. Ah! I'm going back to the source.
I'm going to the mothership.
And it's just Madonna in all of her terror and glory.
Yes. Oh, shall love be on despair.
Well, I guess bad segue. Speaking of mothership, looks like people are going to go on a spaceship in Avengers, huh?
That's a great segue.
That was great. All right, let's give it to Rob for that one. All right, yeah.
I really like how they've been marketing this movie.
I am so freaking excited. I am so excited.
Oh, me too.
I'm so excited. Domino's, you can probably hear her growling at me because I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I love that they... Like, I was talking to a friend of mine who was so disappointed in the trailer because the beginning is just a recap of, like, the earlier movies, but... Listen, the less I see, the better, I think. Because you don't have to sell me on this movie.
No.
Right.
Sorry, Domino's very annoyed with me. Do you want to come up?
But yeah, I mean, first of all, I love seeing the white suits that were leaked, I think a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think,
like renderings.
yeah, it's cool to see that. Like, I love how we don't see Thanos. The big action scene is Ant-Man leaping over a fucking pencil. That is the big action sequence, because otherwise it's everybody walking around looking very concerned.
And Hawkeye with a ridiculous haircut.
Yeah, whatever. That's like a 2008 like mullet thing.
Yeah, it's gross.
No, I'm sorry, not a mullet, like a faux hawk.
Yes.
That is a new haircut. Gonna go see Fall Out Boy.
So to me, it just seems like a lot of effort for, the world going to shit. And he's like, all right, well, I might as well get a new haircut.
Well, you know what? I would have preferred it if he had gone the way of Cap. Like if he just had like a beard and would just really
Look a little grizzled.
Yeah, like just stop taking care of himself, not like just like
Start taking care of himself better.
Right. He's like, my family's dead, and now I'm oh shit, I'm blanking on the
I
name.
hope they're not dead.
Oh, that's
they're
it.
totally
Linda Cardellini turned to dust, and he's like, well, better start hitting the old clubs,
Yeah,
Gotta-
he just
Oh no!
or if anything, I
I'm
figured he was.
free.
Well, I was just thinking in his despair, he was watching old Cry for the Straight Guys. Like, I'm just gonna be a metrosexual and fight crime in
He's like,
Japan.
yeah, I can't be Hawkeye anymore. I'm gonna be Ronin and get a haircut.
Will I be Hawkeye or a hot guy?
Oh.
You never know. But I think I think the main thing I'm excited for is just the fact that the Avengers are going to be interacting with Rocket Raccoon. Like Rocket is going to be like a full-on fucking Avenger and is hanging out with like I want to see a scene between Rocket and Cap.
Mm-hmm.
It's
gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I just want to see what kind of dialogue they're going to be, Because he's... I mean, Rocket's, like, stranded on... Not stranded, but he's on Earth with the Avengers. I'm excited, and I also love the Captain Marvel tease at the end.
Yep. As somebody who saw that movie today, I am very hype.
Oh my god.
So
That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted since Infinity War. I just needed Carol Danvers to show up and say, it's okay now. And she
Yeah.
did.
That
She
post-credit scene in Captain Marvel was great, where they're trying to figure out
Oh,
the
it was
beeper.
so good. And they just turn around, and she's like, "Where's Fury?"
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. She, like, what a great intro. Like, no big, like, glowy, like, exploding shit. Like, she came from the ceiling.
No,
was
she's just there. And they
She
didn't
was
see
just-
her
yeah.
trip any security, anything. She's just like, boom.
Where's Fury?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Um,
But yes, I should let you guys know, according to the Tumblrverse, the lesbians have crowned Thor and Captain Marvel as the king and queen protector of lesbians. But they're not together. They're just like, they fight together to protect lesbians.
I'm very excited to see them fight together to protect anyone in this next movie.
yeah. I like the hammer bit when the hammer flies by her head and, like, she doesn't flinch.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of a nice callback to Thor Ragnarok when he was holding Loki's head and the hammer was coming at him and he was, like, squirmy and freaking out.
Yeah. And Captain Marvel's like, what?
Yeah, like, I ain't afraid of
Is she
shit.
cool?
You see me go Super Saiyan? Yeah. I
Although, apparently, going back to internet outrage, apparently some people are upset by how Carol Danvers looks in Infinity War because she's got lipstick on.
So?
I even noticed that.
I didn't
Me
either,
either.
but apparently people are like...
She's
She can rip apart a spaceship by just flying through it. She can wear all the lipstick she wants.
No, she can, but
Yeah.
I think some people feel like it's like a step backwards from where she's not wearing any makeup in Captain Marvel. I'm not saying
They should just put all the Avengers in
I'm-
lipstick.
I'm
there you go.
just
Problem
reporting-
solved.
I'd like that.
Everybody wearing lipstick. Captain America, Thor, Tony Stark, the Hulk, everyone in lipstick.
maybe she just got the pager and she was like hanging out with people. You know, she was
She's at
just
the club.
like, yeah. Her and the Skrulls found a nice little homeworld, and then she's just hanging out. And then she's like, "Oh shit, this beeper, shit." I haven't heard from Fury in like 20
Well, I'm
years.
sure everybody there
I gotta go,
treated
guys.
us too because
It's Universal.
Yeah.
Universal. So I'm
Yeah.
sure she was just like, "Holy fucking shit!"
Well,
Well, I'm not going to take my lipstick off. I'm going to go deal with this. You know?
yeah, but also I think you can be a strong badass, and if you want to wear makeup, like, it doesn't take away from your
No, Paul.
heroism.
Only men who don't wear makeup can be powerful.
Well, it's like the most unfeminist thing is to like dictate
Judge a woman for doing
what
anything.
a woman should
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it's the most unfeminist thing. Let's dictate what a woman should and should not do. It's like, okay,
Yeah. Whatever.
outta here.
Captain Marvel will beat the shit out of those people anyway.
I know.
faux show.
But yeah, I am. Oh
Yeah,
god,
she
I'm so
could show up
excited.
in a fucking thong, some high like over the knee boots, and some nipple tassels, and I'd be like, that bitch can kick my ass. She's cool. She can do whatever.
She's like, "Sorry, you caught me at a weird time, but let's do this."
Like, yeah.
This is how they dress on this planet, I swear. It's actually insulting if you don't, wear these boots and cover your nips.
With
Cap would be
tassels.
so bashful.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh,
Cap's nose starts bleeding.
I'm sorry, miss."
He just goes full anime.
Yeah.
I know.
He's just screaming Japanese. Like, whoa.
I wonder. So, in the trailer, we see Tony is back on Earth.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to know what the Stark Rogers reunion is going to be like.
I think they're gonna hug it out.
Yes.
I think they need to hug it out. I
They
think
do.
I need to hug it out with them.
I think. I think what's going to happen is both are going to realize like, hey, and actually, I feel like this is a line they use in a lot of movies. There are bigger things than you and me right now.
I think they're gonna walk into the room together. They're gonna lock eyes,
Yeah.
and then their hearts are gonna flutter,
Yep.
and they're just gonna hug and embrace, like a deep embrace.
You know what I want to know? I want to know if Pepper survived the snap. Yeah,
I don't know.
chew on that. That'd be terrible. Tony comes back, or what about Happy
Not Happy. We need Happy.
or Aunt May?
Oh, that's gonna be a damn shame.
Yeah,
But yeah, Tony definitely looks the most distraught in this trailer. Like the little flash of them walking, he doesn't look
yeah.
his fullest for sure.
No. So here's a silly question. When in the trailer, when he's on the ship with Nebula, are they on the Guardians ship? Is that what they're flying? I mean, I'm assuming that's because that's probably the only working ship on that planet. Is a ship
about-
that the Guardians flying on.
They got
They still
their
have the donut ship from.
Oh, that
Heavy Mall.
got destroyed when it
Okay.
because it crash landed. So yeah, because I was thinking like, what ship is that? I was thinking, oh, they must have cobbled together some parts and made the ship work. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I feel like if the Guardians flew there, that ship. I mean, it's not like the ship vanished in the snap.
Well, how did they get there too? Didn't they?
Yeah, they flew.
There's ships, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And then it makes me wonder, like, when you see Nebula and Stark working on something, it's like, I wonder what they're working on.
We built this ship in a cave.
Yeah, with a box of scraps. Probably one of the best lines in any of the 21 movies that have been out so far.
Tony Stark built it in a cave.
And I love that he's yelling that line to fucking Ralphie from A Christmas Story. It's great.
Oh man, good stuff.
It is. I'm so
It seems
excited
like
for
58
this.
years ago when that movie came out.
Wait, it came out how long ago?
I believe it was 58 years ago.
Oh, okay. Wow, time is going faster than I thought.
I know.
It's like, oh, only
But
58
so wait,
years, huh?
there's been what? There has been 21 or I feel like there was 22. I can't even like keep track anymore.
Well,
It's
Captain
insane.
Marvel was the 21st movie.
Good
So
God.
it's a legal age to
Marvel can drink.
Yeah,
But man, even like the poster though, it's a sweet poster.
Oh my god, I cannot wait, you guys. Like, I can't. I fucking can't.
Yeah.
I fucking can't. No, because we're gonna get. Because Paul figured it out. The weekend that Endgame comes out is gonna be
Wait,
the
holy
weekend.
shit! This comes out in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The weekend that Endgame comes out is the weekend that we're going to get the Battle of Winterfell. I'm going to take Monday off because I don't know if I'm going to need a day to cry and start my period 5 days early again.
I've been under the impression that it was coming out at the end of May.
No, April 26th.
That is 5
like-
weeks away.
Yeah.
You guys.
I need to find a babysitter.
You guys. For real now.
Yes.
Do you see why I'm so intense?
Yep.
I never thought I'd be worried about so many Starks.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's pretty sick. I get 2 Captain Marvel movies a month apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking rad.
And I'm just dying to know what is in store for post Endgame. Although I do think it's cool that we're getting a Shang-Chi movie.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and they've locked down a director. I believe it's I think it's something Cretin. I think it's oh goodness, Daniel
Destin
Daniel
Daniel
Cretin.
Cretton?
Destin Daniel Creton. I don't know.
It's a lot
But-
of names. A
Yes,
lot of names.
but it's kind of cool. I think they're gonna do the Black Panther route. They're gonna have a predominantly, Asian American cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it could be cool, and maybe I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm excited. It kind of makes me wish that we could get like an Iron Fist movie, an Iron Fist where that kid from Game of Thrones is in Danny Rand.
Yeah. Man, Iron Fist is such a depressing show. It could be so cool. But this is sweet though. Just like I love that they're going deep
Oh yeah.
with like Marvel stuff. It's not like they've got the top tier covered. They got like the B+ tier covered.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're just going deep.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and
I'm really hoping for a good like Ghost Rider movie.
Oh God, Please, I want a Ghost Rider movie so bad, and I really want a good Fantastic Four movie. And I was, I was reading an article, and it made me excited because if they were to do Fantastic Four, which I'm sure they will, because how could they not? You could do Doctor Doom in a way that he hasn't been adapted in the previous movies, and that is, you could totally have Doctor. Oh, Jesus Christ! I just had a moment like. They could do a Doctor Doom that is abusing dark magic because of Doctor Strange. There is no reason why that they could not do Doctor Doom trying to learn some magic.
You could do that. They could have him.
You could, dude. How
Oh,
cool would
God.
it be to introduce Doctor Doom in a Doctor Strange movie?
That'd be rad.
Battle of the Doctors.
But also, they could tie it into like the Sokovia thing. Like maybe he's like pulling together the scraps of like a fallen nation and becomes like the de facto leader or something because he
That would be
rebuilds
Yeah,
using dark magic and stuff. But like the people love him.
right. Yeah, he could kind of maybe pull them together the way that like Hitler did.
Yeah.
You know, it's time to make Latveria great again, or it's time to make Sokovia Latveria for the first time.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Yeah. And also too, you got the quantum realm now. So whenever people go in there, they come back with some sort of power, like the Elder Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer, or Ghost. So who's to say that you couldn't have someone say, I don't know, Reed Richards, going on a family trip to the quantum realm? They come back as the Fantastic Four.
Seems like a weird trip destination, but maybe they also have a sweet brown conversion van that's equipped to go there.
Yeah.
And they're like, get in, kids. We're
I mean-
going shopping.
I'm just saying the possibilities are there where they could have the quantum realm be like their negative zone.
hmm
I think it could be cool. Because honestly, I don't care what anybody says. I love the Fantastic Four. I know there's some FF haters, but hey man, it's because of Fantastic Four that we are where we are today.
Also, how can you hate the FF? They're good stuff. You're just reading the wrong books.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
read the wrong books is
you
all.
gotta read the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four, because that was superb. But I mean, if they do like the Thing right, and they finally do Doctor Doom right.
Sorry. Sorry, all the crinkling. Domino gutted her toy, so I'm fixing it.
She's pulling a bunch of like the stuffing out of a frog's eye, and it's very disturbing.
Well, it's so she doesn't choke on it.
Just saying. But yeah,
Just saying.
I'm still wrapping my mind around how they could do the X-Men. That's the only thing where I don't have like a working theory on, or even a working, well, this is what I would do if I was working for Marvel.
It's weird because, like, you could definitely introduce it as a new phenomena, but then you don't necessarily have the history of, like, Magneto and Professor Xavier.
Apocalypse.
Or Apocalypse or anything like that. Unless, it's tricky. Because you could technically have, like, Professor X and Magneto being close in age to their, like, acolytes. Like, Professor X isn't that much older than, like, Scott and stuff, but...
Yeah. See, you know what?
I don't know.
I see...
Or they could just change it up. Who knows?
I mean, they technically could just do their own X-Men universe and let it be that. But honestly, I would have loved to have seen, like, a Wolverine Captain America team up.
Which they could do. They could kind of pull the kind of the ultimate X-Men thing, where it's like it's all kind of stemmed from Wolverine. That's how it was, right?
Yeah, that Wolverine
Gene.
was the reason why mutation became a thing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird nonsense. Because if there was only like one mutant existing, or like even if it was like Apocalypse, like he could technically be one. It's just like a small thing, and then there's some weird reaction that sets it off. And
Well, I had said, I don't think maybe you were on this episode of Rob, but and because I've been rereading all the goddamn X-Men books, part of the explanation for the mutation. It's still part of the next step of evolution, but it's kind of like a freak occurrence. Like, it's because of the atomic bomb that it made humanity jump instead of one step to like the next 25 steps. That's why they're children of the atom, because of the atom bomb, I guess. So it'd be cool if whatever happens in Infinity War kind of jump starts that. But I don't want a Magneto that wasn't in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's getting harder to tell just because time keeps passing. Like,
or
1940 was a lot closer in 1999 when they made the first X-Men than it is now.
But hear me out. What if, through the power of magnetism, his aging slowed? Does it make sense?
That's dumb. I believe it.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. No, I don't know how magnets work, but I mean, if they could somehow make you maybe he's born with it, maybe he's a mutant. I don't know. Well, actually, he would be born with it. I digress. The point is, they could work something out there where it's like, because of my powers of metal, I age slowly, much like Wolverine.
Or in the MCU, mutants just age slower.
They could do
Captain
that too.
Marvel looks great for being gone for 27 years.
Yeah. I'm going to chalk that up to planet Earth just ages the shit out of you because it's such a fucking stressful place to live.
Yeah, hanging out with Skrulls is much chiller.
Yeah. So much chill.
Yeah.
Much Marvel.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
I can't believe we're only freaking 5 weeks away from Endgame.
I know.
That blew my mind. I thought I had to wait like 2 more months.
Nope.
I am out of the
Remember
loop.
back in the day when a Marvel movie came out and you had to wait a year, if not more, for the next one?
No, I don't remember that time anymore. It's been so long.
I mean, you look at 2008, Iron Man, and then the next one didn't come out until, 2010?
When Iron Man came out, I didn't even stay for the post-credits because why would you back in 2008? And then I went back to the movies and walked into a theater just to watch the final part.
Dude, that post-credit scene made me so giddy because I loved the Ultimates, and so seeing Sam Jackson come out with the eye patch, like, you think you're the only superhero in the world? I was like, oh my fucking god. And I saw that movie by myself, and that was such a mistake because I had nobody to talk to, especially sitting in the theater and seeing the partially assembled S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
I was like, I have no one to share this moment with. It was terrible.
I know.
And then Nick
Now
Fury
it's
shows
like-
up, and I'm like, I'm a lonely nerd.
I'm still super happy when that shit happens in movies, but it's back in the day it was just like, that means shields. That long thing he said, that means shields. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is shields? And now I'm
Right.
just like, that green and white costume was like what Captain Marvel had. That was like what the Kree wear. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the cuts get deeper and deeper and deeper. Also, speaking of deep cuts, I love that Monica Rambeau is in this movie.
Yeah.
One of the other Captain Marvels, or sometimes known as Photon. That was just awesome.
I just loved their relationship in that movie.
Well, I love that Captain Marvel didn't have a love interest, or at least not a romantic one. The fact that her love interest is the friendship. I like
she
that
had
a lot.
a best friend. I thought Captain Marvel had some of the best interpersonal relationships
Yeah.
in
Now-
a lot of the Marvel movies.
Now, let me ask you this. Speaking of intergalactic relationships, what did you think of the way Fury lost his eyeball?
I thought it was funny.
I just can't believe he didn't get medical attention sooner. They're all fucking having dinner and like, oh, how's your eye? I'm like, there's a fucking hole in his head. It's not doing well.
I assume, I don't know, the alien cat, something must have taken some time to do some damage.
Yeah. I don't know. But I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
I also, I haven't really talked about Captain Marvel because I was not here for when you guys did your episode, but I loved it. I thought the relationships and all the character stuff was perfect. I loved the bait and switch with the Krees and Skrulls.
Yes.
I thought having the Skrulls
For
kind
now.
of For now, yeah. But I think it's cool because it leaves it open for, say, there is a Fantastic Four movie, and you could have actual bad Skrulls, like Super Skrull could be leading.
God, Super Skrull, yes.
Could be leading bad Skrulls, which at that point you'd be like, oh, the Skrulls, we've met them before. They were good people. And then this dude's like, nah.
Nah, bro.
We're extremists.
Yeah. I mean, and the possibilities are endless. You could do, like, the Annihilation Wave, Galactus, Nihilus.
Oh my god, I want to see a Galactus. I want to see a big man with a purple helmet so bad.
No, I want a cloud again.
Oh, the fart cloud?
I want a giant man with a vacuum cleaner in space.
No, did you know that cloud, that dirty-ass cloud from Fantastic Four is related to the fucking yellow-brown cloud from Green Lantern? It's true.
Really?
Yeah, they're related. It's crazy. The things you learn on this show.
And the California smog.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galactus is slowly killing us with global warming and pollution.
Yes, that's
been here all
that's how
along.
he's eating the planet, just slowly.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically
That's kind of cool. Kind of like an eco-terrorist kind of villain.
yeah, and he can be voiced by Daniel Day-Lewis. He's like, I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. Good day, sir.
He's so extra.
Yes, very much. Wow, that'd be great. Daniel Day-Lewis in the Galactus helmet, but with like a twirly mustache.
There you go. He'd do it.
Ties the planet Earth to a train track.
Oh, God.
Snidely Whiplash. That'd be
Yeah.
so good. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
It's a lot of movies. The season for the movies is upon us. Like, I didn't even realize, like, Shazam comes out next week. I think.
Well, it comes out in April, but if you're a Fandango VIP, you can see it 2 weeks early.
Oh,
Which
maybe that's
I
the
am a-
advertisement I saw.
Well, I'm gonna go see it early because then I could do a report on Shazam, which is getting good early buzz.
It looks fun. It looks campy in the ways that I want it to be.
Well, I mean, it's basically if the movie, it's like the movie Big with Tom Hanks if it had superpowers, and I fucking love Big. And you know, I think Shazam, if done right, can be hilarious and heartfelt and just a grand old time.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting that we have 2 Captain Marvel movies in the same year.
It's crazy.
I know. The same.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, and we also have Far From Home coming out this summer.
We do.
Wonder Woman 84 comes out too, right?
Oh, I thought that was next year.
This
Is that
year?
this year?
Let me do a quick Google. Wonder Woman 1984 release date. June 5th, 2020. Aw,
Sorry.
we must wait.
Yeah. Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot is worth the wait.
For sure.
Totes.
I'd watch a new Wonder Woman movie every year.
I would too. I would watch a movie about Wonder Woman doing taxes and be enthralled.
Well, she works in a museum. Like,
Yeah.
just her day-to-days going on at the museum.
Mm-hmm.
National Treasure with Wonder Woman.
Oh my fucking god.
It's a dream come true.
I would totally, yeah.
Nick Cage comes into her office and sits down and he goes, "Hello. I have a proposition for you. What's some weird relic from the DC universe? Like Hawkman's face mask?"
Yeah.
They can't kidnap the president again, so it's gotta be.
No, it's got to be like, we need to steal a crystal from the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. Or they
I
learn,
love that movie.
or they learn about some occult and like, oh, they're trying to summon some deity, and they accidentally summon up the Sandman. Get a little Vertigo action in there,
I would
Oh
love
my
a Sandman movie.
and then Owen Wilson as the Sandman. Wow. I have my powers to make you nap. just dye his blonde, mop into a dark one, and just be like,
So
yeah.
bad.
I also play a talking car.
Oh man, but for real, I would watch the shit out of a Wonder Woman National Treasure movie.
Yeah, I would.
For realsies. For realsies.
Or it would have to be like it could tie in something that happened in World War One with like Ares or something. Like maybe he like dropped his sword or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then Nick Cage is just like, he comes from a long line of treasure hunters, and that sword was actually part of the reason the United States was formed. The founding fathers used that sword to
So they use the sword to start America, and then it gets used again in World War One.
Yes, because Revolutionary War, Ares was there. Who do you think
Ares is the
Fuck, what's-
eyeball in the fucking pyramid that America worships.
Or it's like the sword that the queen uses to knight people, so then it's spread throughout the England nation, which is why they're like imperialists and conquerors.
Oh man, yes, and I debut Sir Knight of Shoshingham.
it could work? Is all I'm saying.
Hey, listen, I'm not trying to poke holes in it. I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would be grand.
I like this whole wave of period piece superhero films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're so nice.
I wish. I it's one of the reasons why I liked X-Men First Class, because having an X-Men movie set in the 60s was just delicious for me.
It just felt right.
Yeah, I mean, the comic started in 1963, and I love the idea, and I wish this had been a movie. Magneto Nazi Hunter.
Yeah, that opening scene was so satisfying.
I mean, if it was just a movie of him hunting down Nazis, and
Oh, yeah.
I mean, God, when he's pulling fucking gold teeth out of people's heads and sending swords or knives at people, with Michael Fassbender, I just
Fuck yeah.
I think it would be fantastic.
They could start their own like History Channel show. Eric Lencher, Nazi Hunter.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious! Like superheroes through the ages. That would be fantastic.
What do you think about the Dark Phoenix? That's coming out soon.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I mean, it's like a little bit of retread of X3, but whatever.
it's
They're younger and hotter, so it's
well,
fine.
but you know what scares me though? It's the fucking same screenplay writer who wrote X3.
Really?
Yes, it's like why?
That's so dumb.
You did such a good. It's like I mean, I love redemption stories, but I don't think he's gonna
Not
get
here.
it right. Okay. Phoenix, I think if you're gonna do it, here are your options. Option number 1, don't do it. 2, if you do decide to go down the Phoenix wormhole, you can't do it in one movie. I would fully support a 2-part or even a Phoenix trilogy. And I'm telling you right now, I always hate when they try to make Phoenix like some fucking dark psychic cocoon bullshit. It's not Fight Club. It's like, oh, when Jean goes to sleep, the Phoenix wakes up. It's like, no, come on. I don't like when the Jean is like, psychotic or whatever, and then they make Charles Xavier the bad guy. Like, oh yes, I suppressed the Phoenix. Everyone's like, Charles, how could you? Like, if you just did this to Jean, like, I don't like when they make Xavier a bad guy. I don't like it. He's the father figure. He's the one I want to trust in.
He's like the most assassinated character in the comics.
Seriously, him and Scott Summers, and then let's just have Scott Summers kill Xavier. But that's another episode for another day.
Yeah. I mean, Scott's always been a dick. Let's be real. But was it in the 616 when they made Charles like kind of weird and like creepy towards Jean when she was a little girl? Or is that like Ultimates without making
no.
Ultimate.
Listen, this is comically true, comically accurate. In the very first issue of X-Men,
They're all creepy towards her. They're all creepy towards her in that.
but especially Xavier in the comic written by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Xavier has a little thought bubble about he's like, Jean, I love you. Like, I care for you more than the other ones because I love you. And while I don't feel anything below my hips, I still do.
Well then.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stan Lee, I started quietly weeping at the beginning of Captain Marvel.
Oh, I know. That was such a nice little tribute.
It was all just Stan Lee things, and I was just like, I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah.
I was very emotional at the beginning of that movie.
And the Mallrats cameo.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah. So good.
And I'm pretty sure they must have filmed that shot of Brie Larson like looking back at him like with like a loving stare like after the fact. Because that was like too like, aw, we miss you.
Yeah.
If he was still here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that probably Spider-Man: Homecoming might be the last Stan Lee cameo we get. This is not going to be the same.
Nope.
Or they could do what Deadpool 2 did, where they had like a mural of Stan Lee in one of the shots. They could do that.
Just the hidden tributes scattered throughout.
Yeah. Like, just, like he can be on the TV in the background, or I don't know. But yeah, still not over Stan being gone.
No.
But I think we're coming up on that time of the show where we would talk about things that we're into, which maybe we still will, and we really didn't talk about how we were going to do this, but we have some exciting news.
Take it away, Rob. No.
But
Yeah, we're rebranding.
just bringing it back to Banshee.
Hell yeah. Wednesday will be no more.
No.
Except we'll still be doing a podcast.
Yes.
So, like a phoenix.
Rising from the ashes.
Yes.
Thanks, Domino. She appreciates it.
Yeah. We've been thinking for a while now that Wednesday.
It's a very crowded space.
Yes, people have a hard time
using the
finding
terms
us.
Wednesday.
There's a lot of Wednesday podcasts, so we went for something new, something fresh, something hip.
For you youngsters.
Yes.
Something young and sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Young and Sexy now.
Chandler actually came up with the name, the final name, the name we settled on.
Yeah, Chandler, do you want? I don't know how we should do this. Should we all go on 3, or let's just Chandler? Do you want to say it? Do you want to be the one? Do you want to be the one that breaks the bottle off of the ship?
The christening, yes. Our new podcast will be known as Multiversed.
But yeah. Multiverse. I love it. I think it's great. It's simple. It's one word. It's and it fits because there's so many multiverses in comics. We're multiversed in comics and pop culture. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And,
as a listener, you shouldn't have to change anything, hopefully.
No. But we're
If
also
things go
getting-
well, it should just update.
And we're getting a new website name.
Yes. The graphic multiverse.
That's right. We're launching a porn site. Watch out, Pornhub.
Yes.
Yup. We're like, there ain't no money in comic books anymore.
Yeah.
The porn that no one wants to see.
Yeah.
We've actually been uploading our podcast to Pornhub for 4 years, and that's where we get all our views.
Mainly from me.
This is a great
I just
hack.
opened up 2 tabs.
Mm-hmm.
If you see Cookie Badge, just porn scenes, but like with our like podcast over it.
Just talking about we'd probably get more listeners if we did it that way.
Probably.
We would.
That would it'd
Yeah.
be hilarious.
Guys.
People are just trying to multitask.
Yeah, it's just like yeah.
They're like, I have so many podcasts in my feed, and I only have so much time in the
It's
day.
like, yeah. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. It's like, oh man, that episode where they review Captain Marvel and the whole bit with Sasha Grey, the gangbang, amazing. It was just so pro-feminism.
Yeah, but no, it's just graphicmultiverse.com. But yeah, multiversed. I'll probably put a little Q&A, or not a Q&A, a little info
We'll now be
dump
taking
at the
questions
beginning
from the press.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
But yeah, so if you see multiversed in your feed,
It's
it's
us.
not a weird spoof podcast virus. It is us.
New look, same great taste.
Yes.
Sorry, Domino's snoring in the
She
background.
fell asleep on the desk. I'm gonna try to send a picture. So yeah, multiverse. Is the next episode gonna be the episode that we're multiversed?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That would be amazing.
Well, probably not this one because we're talking about it.
Yeah,
The next
but
one.
yeah, it's coming up. And if you're listening, which I hope you are, and you've been listening this long, if you know any graphic designer friends, let us know. Because, yeah, we need help.
I can do pop art of Domino, but that's about it.
I mean, the logo that I made was out of popsicle sticks. So, I mean, we gotta.
And macaroni.
Yeah, macaroni.
Yeah.
So if you know someone, we will pay you in kissing sound effects. That's what you will get. So next week, multiverse. But before we go, real quick, anybody want to do a recap of what they've been reading, watching, doing, and anything you want to promote?
I've been marathoning Raven's Home, the sequel to the beloved millennial sitcom That's So Raven.
Oh.
And it's perfect. It's everything. It's so like well written, well balanced, well acted. It's hilarious. They did everything right. They must have been like a lot of research before they like produced it because it's so perfect. I don't know.
Aww.
It's just I love it so much.
That sounds lovely.
It's quite. That's it.
I haven't had too much time to do reading with a baby and all, but I did finally, after about a year, finish watching all of Dragon Ball Z Kai. So
How was that?
It was a journey. I hadn't watched Dragon Ball Z through since probably I was in high school, so this is a good refresher on how silly that show is.
Kai's like the remaster, right? Or like the
Kai, it's kind of remastered and abridged. So instead of like 1,000 episodes, it's like 200 or something. They cut out a lot of stuff, make it, as somebody who wants to rewatch it, it's the way to go.
And as somebody who's never watched it and would like to,
yeah, I would recommend it.
is it streaming
It is.
anywhere, or is it something that you gotta buy?
You could buy it, or it's on like anime streaming services. Somebody gave me their Crunchyroll login. I think that's how I watched most of it.
Yeah, I do want to watch it. But yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, because whatever, Dragon Ball Super has been out for like years now, and I was like, I should catch up on Dragon Ball things. I liked that as a child, so I did. That's it.
Angela, anything that you want to add? Or?
I heard a interesting, I guess, Netflix series called Love, Death, and Robots, and it's supposed to be like really good. I heard something about like porn and killing Hitler, and I was like, oh, okay, this seems pretty good.
Two of my favorite things.
Is that the dog snoring that I hear?
Yes.
She fell asleep. I sent pictures in the group chat. Maybe we'll add them to the episode if you're listening. Her head is asleep on the desk next to the microphone.
Yep.
This episode will just end with the sounds of snoring.
Yeah.
Domino's snoring.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
She does sound kind of like an old man.
Yeah.
When she's
Sometimes her snoring has a vowel. Yeah, so it really throws you off. Well, as you all know, my sojourn into the X-Men books continues.
Yep.
I'm now at the 90s, all of the Jim Lee glory, and because, there's so many other books, this is where they kind of break off into blue and gold, but there's also New Mutants, and New Mutants became X-Force, which I remember being a kid and thinking, oh man, X-Force, it's so cool, it's so edgy. There's like a guy with a ponytail and like swords.
Look at all those patches and pockets on those
know.
pants.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's kind of bad.
Oh, it's terrible. I already read a lot of X-Force not too long ago.
Yeah, and they're just trying way so hard to be cool, and like it's like I don't like Cable, and I love Cable, but here she's like, oh, like I am such a badass, 90s attitude, yeah.
Yeah, as much as we sing the praises of Rob Liefeld, turns out maybe his characterizations and art isn't the best.
Yeah, I mean,
in the 90s it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was a lot of things that were awesome
like,
in the 90s.
but I still like Shatterstar and Domino, and so it's like I'm gonna keep reading it because I've read everything, so I'm not gonna stop now. I mean, I've literally I've read every X-Men comic book from 1963 to like 1991, so I'm not gonna stop now. But yeah, it's woof. It's gross. But yet I still kind of love it because I'm like, oh god.
Good to know. Good to know.
Well, I think Domino snoring is probably the sign that this is going to be the end of our episode and the end of Wednesday. Want to thank everybody, and I mean everybody, who has been listening and supporting. It's been a kind of a long, weird journey, and I'm going to even take this all the way to the year 2010, 2011, where I met Rob at Suffolk University, and kind of had this idea for a show based on conversations I had with my friends at Comicopia, including Angela and Chandler, and that became, it was We Got Issues for a little bit, and
then we were recording in a bar. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was fun, though.
No, that was just basically talking about comics around a group of people who would have kicked my ass in high school for talking about comic books.
It was really weird.
Drunk sports fans. Like, what better way to talk about comics than go to a bar while a Celtics game is playing?
I mean, if I was at a bar while the Celtics were playing, I'd probably somehow end up talking about either Magic the Gathering or comic books. So,
and then from there we got Wednesday, and no signs of stopping, to quote Willy Wonka from the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, so we're still going to be recording.
Yeah.
It's just the name change.
Yep, rebranding.
We're still here. We're not saying goodbye.
No.
We're just saying goodbye to the name.
Just trying to grow as a show.
Evolving. We're evolving.
Yes.
We are now reaching our second evolution.
Mm-hmm.
We've reached level 16.
I think this is
Press
technically...
B, press B.
I think this is our third evolution. This is like...
We don't want to box us in just yet. We don't want to say we're going into Charizard territory. We want to...
Well, I mean, we
I guess there's mega evolutions. So no.
So this is our third.
Yeah, we're stage 3. We're level 36.
You got a Digimon route. There's like 5 levels.
Oh, it's time for me to get ready for bed.
So
I guess that's our closing music.
Yes, and now it's time to tuck our little Wednesday to bed.
Good night,
Yes.
Wednesday.
Good night, Wednesday.
Aww.
And
Good night, Wednesday.
Good night, Wednesday. And as always, enjoy your issues. And we'll see you soon.